Welcome to the Sterile Processing Review. Resources from Quizlet, the CBSPD Study Guide, and Google. You cannot go wrong with Google. It says, note, these test specifications reflect the recommended changes identified by the Technician Job Analysis Survey conducted in 2017 by the CBSPD. Purchase and or use of the CBSPD Technician Study Guide does not guarantee you will pass this exam. Success on the exam is based upon your level of knowledge and skills. So 1 through 8, the different subjects. The first one is role and responsibilities. That's going to be 16% of the exam. 2 are your life sciences, 9% of the exam. 3, decontamination and disinfection, 23% of the exam. 4, preparation and handling, 18% of the exam. 5, sterilization, 19% of the exam. 6, sterile storage, 11% of the exam. 7, patient care equipment, 2% of your exam. And number 8, ethics, 2% of the exam. You are allowed 2 hours to answer a total of 104 answer multiple choice questions that are on the technician certification examination. All right, so let's go over the first one, roles and responsibilities, which is 16% of your exam. Number 1, potential workplace hazards. For example, your wet floors, electrical outlets, your ETOs, your fumes, your body fluids, microorganisms, sharps, latex allergies, and medical waste. Number 2, ergonomic considerations and body mechanics. Number 3, policies and procedures related to sterile processing functions, for example, safety, infection prevention, disaster, safety data sheets, and your incident reports. 4, federal, state, and local guidelines, standards, and regulations, for example, OSHA, FDA, CDC, EPA, and HIPAA. 5, professional standards related to personal hygiene and dress codes. 6, function and workflow, traffic flow of the sterile processing department. 7, processor for loaner instrumentation. 8, compliance with manufacturer's instructions for use, like your chemicals and sterilizations. 9, your signals and symbols on manufacturer's instructions for use, also called your IFUs, and your packaging. Suggested learning activities. Study the reference materials listed in this study guide and select a number of suggested readings for further study. I like to use AI, I like to use Quizlet, and I like to use Google for sterile processing information. So let's go over a couple of questions. I have 10 questions based off of the roles and responsibilities, and be mindful that I copied this straight out of the book. That's why it kind of looks a little bit wonky. But number 1, question 1, a broken glass suction bottle is returned to a decontamination. Which of the following should the technician do? A, place it in an appropriate rigid container. B, place it in a cardboard box for disposal. C, discard it in an infectious waste bag. Or D, discard it in the general trash. And the correct answer is A. A broken glass suction bottle is returned to decon. Which of the following should the tech do? Place it in an appropriate rigid container. All right. Number 2, safety data sheets provide health and safety hazards and risk information on which of the following? A, chemicals. B, electrical. C, mechanical. Or D, psychological. All right, so the answer is A. Safety data sheets provide health and safety hazard and risk information on which of the following? It's chemicals. Question 3, which of the following generally describes the correct sequence for the traffic workflow in areas in which medical devices are processed? Is it A, decontamination, sterile storage, sterilization, and assembly? B, distribution, assembly, packaging, and sterile storage? C, decontamination, assembly, packaging, sterilization, and sterile storage? Or is it D, disinfection, assembly, packaging, sterilization, and sterile storage? So the answer is C. Which of the following generally describes the correct sequence for the traffic workflow in areas in which medical devices are processed? It is decontamination, assembly, packaging, sterilization, and sterile storage. Number 4, the major reason why acrylic nails are not permitted to be worn in the sterile processing department is because they can A, catch on packaging material, B, fall off, C, allow fungus to grow beneath them, or D, tear gloves. The correct answer is C. The major reason why acrylic nails are not permitted to be worn in the sterile processing department is because they can allow fungus to grow beneath them. Question 5. Which of the following agencies would approve the disinfectants used on floors and walls in the sterile processing department? A, Joint Commission for the Accreditation of Healthcare Organizations. B, the CDC, Centers for Disease Control, C, OSHA, Occupational Health and Safety Admin, or D, Environmental Protection Agency, also called the EPA? And the answer is D, the EPA. Which of the following agencies would approve the disinfectants used on the floors and the walls in the sterile processing department? It is the Environmental Protection Agency. Question 6. Every healthcare facility has an organizational structure or chart that outlines A, departmental authority regulations, B, workflow patterns, C, quality monitoring program guidelines, D, productivity standards. And the answer is A. Every healthcare facility has an organizational structure or chart that outlines departmental authority relationships. Question 7. Clean to dirty is a sterile processing department term used to describe A, workflow, B, inventory control methods, C, distribution procedures, or D, sterilization procedures. Question 7 is workflow. Clean to dirty is a sterile processing department term used to describe workflow. Question 8. What are the major physical areas of a typical sterile processing department? A, decontamination, soiled receiving, sterilization, and distribution. B, decontamination, assembly, preparation and packaging, sterilization and sterile storage. C, sterile storage, equipment storage, distribution and sterilization. Or D, sterile storage, sterile processing, soiled receiving, and distribution. And the correct answer is B. What are the major physical areas of a typical sterile processing department? They are decon, also called decontamination, assembly, preparation and packaging, sterilization, and sterile storage. Question 9. Loose-fitting clothing and jewelry should not be worn in sterile processing because it A, presents a non-professional appearance, B, can become easily contaminated, C, can get caught in moving equipment, or D, may encourage theft among employees. And the correct answer is C. Loose-fitting clothing and jewelry should not be worn in sterile processing because it can get caught in moving equipment. That is a thing. Question 10. Hair coverings are required. A, only in the preparation and the packaging area. B, only in the decontamination area. C, in all areas of the department. Or D, while working in the sterile storage area. And the correct answer is C. Hair coverings are required in all areas of the department. You must have on hair coverings in the entire unit.